This Crev's corner, the ball is in your court. Swish.
Welcome to Crev's Corner, guys. My name is Brandon Krevling. I'm here with Ashland University starting point guard Brandon Haraway. This is my 10th episode. Thank you, Brandon, for jumping on. Just a couple questions. First, coming from Norwalk, coming from kind of a smaller town, what does it mean to expand your game and take it to a collegiate level, D2, and start as a freshman?
It's actually really exciting, and I kind of grew up behind the images of my brother and my older cousin, so I kind of knew what it was gonna be like coming in with my brother even going here at Ashland. So coming into Ashland, I was super excited. I kind of knew what to expect, and he graduated the year before I came in, so I kind of just wanted to take his starting spot, and that's what happened, and it worked out perfectly.
Yeah, I was gonna say it did work out perfectly. You won GLIAC Freshman of the Year, which is a great honor. Only 3 AU people have won it. Your brother won it at Malone University, actually.
Yep.
So, what does it mean for Ellenwood, John Ellenwood, coach, to put you in the starting spot as so young? And what do you think he saw in you?
I think what he saw in me was a lot of my older brother, kind of set the foundation. We come in with a lot of energy and we make plays when we need to. So he knew that he could do that, and then he trusted me to also do that when I came in. So I feel like having been here before me gave him a little bit of extra trust with me coming in as a freshman.
Now, was Ashland your first choice? I know that your brother went here, and I know he won the state title with Norwalk. Was your mind set on Ashland, like when you were a freshman, seeing Ben go into?
Yeah, so kind of like I've seen Ben grow up in the program, and I was here a lot, coming to all the open gyms just because I was his little brother and also a recruit at many places. So Ashland was the place I felt most comfortable with at first, but I actually almost went to Walsh because I almost wasn't able to do the nursing program here at Ashland with basketball. But since Walsh offered me that position, Ashland pulled some strings and we made it work. So that's what got me here at Ashland.
I'll say that was my follow-up question: is what are some schools? I was gonna say, did you get any D1 offers? Did you get any former or other D2 offers that you were interested in besides Ashland? I know you mentioned that Ashland felt like home, but
Yeah, Walsh kind of was my only other top pick for D2s, but going into my senior year, I had 3 D1s looking at me, and they wanted to see me work out in the fall and then see how my season went, my regular season. But since I wanted to do nursing and I was kind of dead set on that, I knew I wasn't going to be able to do that at the D1 level anyways. So I decided to just stay here close to home and come to Ashland.
yeah, now that we're talking about pre-Ashland days, I'm just gonna get into it. Seeing being under former state champ Steve Gray, coach legendary. I mean, everyone knows the guy. How is he really in practice?
Oh, he's a great coach. He's a stickler too. He kind of holds everybody accountable no matter what it is. If I come in and I'm having a bad day, he'll get on you. And that's just the winning attitude that he has. He's been such a great coach for so long. So it doesn't surprise me that my senior year we made it so far as a team.
Yeah, I was gonna say I followed you guys on that run. Talking about your senior year, you also had All Ohio honors your junior and senior year, which is a big accomplishment, especially as a junior. Going into your senior year, you took the team down to Bowling Green. Obviously, fell short due to Columbus South having a good team all around. But how was it you being a senior, kind of rallying a younger team, not having that second star that a lot of teams when they go down to Bowling Green have? How was it kind of putting the ball in your court, essentially being the centerpiece of the whole Norwalk Truckers team?
Um, it was fun. Sometimes a little stressful with a lot of weight on my back, but I just tried to go out there and have fun every night and just ball out as much as I could, as much as I knew to do. And even with that, sometimes I would have an off night, but my teammates would pick me up. Given like Ontario game, I think it was district semis, wasn't having a good night for me, but my teammates stepped it up big time, and we ended up getting the overtime win. So a lot of it, I did do my part, but a lot of the credit should go to my teammates because they did a hell of a job that season too.
Yeah, I was gonna say I went to Ontario game at Madison, and you struggle a little bit down the stretch, but you're known for when the lights are on and spotlight is right in your face, and big moments come down at the end of the game. I mean, you had that full court layup. So, are
Yeah.
you known for taking the big shot? Or do you like all that pressure on you?
Yeah, I kind of, if the game's on the line, I kind of want the ball in my hands because as much as I trust other people, I know I can trust myself even more. So I like to have the ball in my hands because I think I can get it done every time.
I'll say now enough talking about offense. Your defensive game speaks for itself. How much pride do you take knowing that you're going to be a headache for opponents on the other side of that ball in high school? And I've color commentated a couple of your guys' games in college. It seems like you're more of a tenacious defender when it comes to on ball. Sometimes getting in foul trouble, but still, how does it feel being in the teammates' heads or in the opponent's heads on the defensive side of the ball?
Honestly, I love defense so much because just frustrating that person up front of me just gives me even more energy. It gives me even more energy to play, and then it translates to offense for me. And I kind of grew up grew up wanting to lock people down, and even in some AAU teams, some of my roles were being a defensive stopper. Like I got the pleasure to play on Under Armour, the only Under Armour sponsored team in Ohio, my going into my senior year, and that's kind of what my coach brought me in for. He said, you know, you're not the greatest offensive player on this team. And I knew that. He said, but you're going to earn your spot on the defensive end, which I did. I ended up starting all the games that summer for that team and making a name for myself on that team too. So I feel like defense goes a long way, and it's slept on a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say you are a guy who, although you play hard and you're kind of a floor general, especially at Ashland, how does it feel getting into that point guard role, being the floor general that you have turned into your sophomore year? And like,
It feels good. A lot of it goes to a lot of it goes to my coach. Last year coming into this year, he put a lot of trust into me. He said, "I want you to be our guy this year." So I took that and I ran with it. I tried to do my best on the offense and defensive side, which it showed getting first team all GLIAC and all the defensive team. So a lot of it just came from my coach having trust in me, and then that gives me even more confidence in myself.
yeah, you mentioned first team All GLIAC, first team defensive, second team district, GLIAC freshman of the year. When you think about all these accomplishments that you racked up, especially All Ohio in football your senior year, All Ohio basketball junior year, I mean, we can rattle it off. We can rattle off to the cows jump over moons. I mean, who do you credit all those accomplishments to?
Um, I would have to say it all comes down to my mentality coming into sports, and that would have to go to my uncle. Growing up from a young age, probably first second grade, I started training, working out with him. He just instilled this attitude in me that you're going to be the best player. Every time you step onto the court, every time you step onto the field, you tell yourself you're the best player out there, and then that's how you're going to play. So I would have to give that credit to my uncle.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and you guys won GLIAC this year. How's that? Is that more meaningful than you guys think? I was gonna say, I know you guys had a little bit of a tournament run when you're talking about the D2 national tournament, but winning the GLIAC this year when you guys were a 4 seed or a 5 seed, how special is that to you?
Oh yeah, that was actually our main goal because going into this year, we knew it was going to be our last year. Preseason rankings came out. They ranked us 5, and then come to the postseason, we have the second best record in the league, and they rank us 5 again. So we kind of take it personal. We kind of knew the GLIAC was trying, not really giving us our respect. So we wanted to come in there and smack them in the mouth, pretty much, which is what we did, and giving them a nice, good farewell to the league.
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys had a good run down the stretch of the season, and a thing that I've noticed just commentating games and being there a couple games is the chemistry of your guys' team. Seems like it's a bond that can't be broken. Talk about that. Talk about your guys' teammates. I mean, Derek Koch, you got Bo Furcron. I mean, talk about those guys and how they've centered around each other.
Yeah, it's honestly kind of crazy because most of this team is new except for me, AT, and Derek coming back as starters. But the rest of us, Bo coming in from FIU, he at the starting position. Hunter Shedenhelm coming in from Pickerington North, freshman, he got the starting position. We have a walk-on, Dylan Fashgiro coming in. He earned himself a spot. So it's kind of like we all got here together, and we kind of just formed a bond. And all we were doing all first semester was working out with each other. We didn't have any games or anything like that, so we got the time to get close. And then even as the season went on, we just got closer and closer. So we all trusted each other, and we all enjoyed each other. We enjoyed playing with each other even more than that. So I feel like that went a long way, and that'll go a long way going into next year too.
I was gonna say, yeah, you guys seem like to buy the idea that a GLIAC championship isn't out of the eyesight. And also, when we talk about coaches, John Ellenwood and Brooke Turson, I know Brooke Turson. Brooke Turson graduated from my alumni, 2020 scorer. I mean, he was a bucket in 2010.
Yeah.
Took his team to BGSU. So how are those coaches really? How's Brooke on the inside of basketball? How's John Ellenwood, who I've seen good as good when you guys go on those runs, but when you guys let the defense slip a little bit, he's a firecracker.
Oh yeah, Ellenwood, he's definitely gonna let you know when you're lacking for sure. But then when we're doing good, then that kind of gives him the cue where he's just gonna sit back. So, but that's good. Like when we're not playing up to our abilities, and we have Ellenwood to get on us about it, it's just that pushes us to pick it back up, because we don't want to hear him screaming in our ears. So that kind of picks it back up for us. And then Coach Turson, he runs the defense for us, calls out all the defensive plays that we go through, and he knows what it's about, especially since he just got done playing basketball not too long ago. And he's a great coach too.
Now, going to you in your series of injuries, I just saw that when you were a sophomore, you missed a lot of your basketball season in high school because of an injury due to football. How is that? Does that take a mental toll? I mean, you mentioned how your mentality is pretty sharp around in the head. So how does that get you ready for basketball season on the second half of that or in junior year?
Yeah. So as a sophomore, when I tore my tricep playing football, that kind of broke down my mentality a little bit, because I was kind of just devastated that I was going to have to miss half of my sophomore year. But then coming back when I was rehabbing and all that, it just built that much more excitement into me. And I was that much more ready to go when I came back. So, and then also that next year, it had me a little shook. I didn't play football. I kind of just focused on basketball. And I honestly think that's where my basketball game took another step for me. So I feel like in the end, looking back at it, it wasn't so bad, and it just helped me to push myself even harder than I already was.
I was gonna say, I saw somewhere you missed 20 plus games due to injuries and just some other trouble down the line. The anticipation when you come back from those times waiting to be on the floor and you gotta sit and watch it happen. How does that affect you, being a person you can't help the situation at all, just sitting on the bench?
Exactly. It makes me anxious. It just each game, each day, each practice I have to watch without playing. It makes me burn up inside. So just coming back, it makes me want it even more. It just makes me drive for the goals I'm trying to achieve even more than I already have been. That first back is something different. It's always amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Now, looking at you versus a lot of the other players I see in the collegiate level, you're a pretty all-around guy. I mean, you do it all basically, 5 level. Kind of, there's no niche in your game that people can pick on. So, what is something that for the Ashland Eagle fans and for fans of Brandon Haraway from Norwalk, from Ashland, what is some part of your game that you look to improve on going into your junior year?
Passing for sure. That's what I want to work on going into next year. I want to be able to be a player that can also get my teammates in the spots and get these shots at all times of the game too. I feel like that would make us better as a team also going down the stretch. So I feel like if I get my passing game down, average at least 5 assists a game, I would be really happy with that.
All right, and to end off the interview, where do you see the Ashland Eagles at for your junior year? Where do you see them taking? I mean, you got Furcron back, you got Hunter back. I mean, where do you guys see the Eagles going next year? Back-to-back champs?
National championship.
National
championship.
I'm saying
we're coming for the ring.
Back-to-back LEACs national championship.
Yep.
I like to.
Mhm.
Honestly, I like to hear it, Brandon. Do you got anything else you want to say to the people before we head off?
Look
here?
out for us next year. That's all I gotta say.
Look out for the Eagles next year. All right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you guys for joining. I am Brandon Crev, your host. Thank you for joining me, Brandon. It was awesome to talk to you and really
Thank
kind
you
of
for
see the
having me.
inside of Eagles basketball.
This Crev's corner. The ball is in your court. Swish.